Hello. It's so loud. And welcome, whether you're in the room or on Zoom. Hi, Zoomies. Um, I talked to a number of people who are working with little injuries today. I am also working with an injury today. So we're all just going to really honor those things and work carefully through them. We won't do as much standing up today. We're going to do more a little bit down on the mat, kind of like we did last week. And just listen to your body and do what feels good to you. So let's start on our backs. We're going to start with feet on the floor, knees bent in constructive rest. Let your arms drop down by your sides. Yeah, notice if your shoulders are pulled up off the mat and just let them go. Let them just drop back into the mat. Shoulder blades nice and heavy, feet firmly on the floor. And take a second here, a few seconds here to just check in with yourself today. How is your body feeling today? Just arriving, maybe you've rushed into class and your heart rate's a little elevated, maybe breathing up into your chest. Just notice that. Or maybe you've been here a while resting in the sun, feeling nice and relaxed, breathing down into your belly. Again, just notice. Yeah, just keep your attention there on your breath, letting it be natural. And even just lying here breathing, we're working our core muscles. We're working some of those muscles in our torso. Obviously, the diaphragm, the primary breathing muscle. But also as we start to move the muscles of our bellies, the muscles surrounding our chest. So already we're getting a little core work. Our breath is also the bridge between our brains and our bodies. Yoga is a mind-body practice. And our minds can time travel, worrying about the future or focusing on the past, but our bodies are right here in the present. And our breath is right here in the present and connects our minds and our bodies. So just see if you can keep your attention on your breath here. 3 or 4 more breaths. Maybe now letting your belly rise and fall. Good. And then gently reach your arms up toward the ceiling. And we'll reach up, feel your shoulder blades come up off the floor. On your exhale, let them drop back. And do that a few times, floating up and then getting heavy and dropping down. Good. Take your arms up overhead, just as far as is comfortable. Let's do that on our inhale. Exhale, bring your hands back by your sides, inviting you to really focus on your breath today, all the way through class. Let your body be patient with your breath. Exhaling down. Good. And then in a way that feels good to you, let your arms make a snow angel on the way around. Maybe they touch the floor, maybe they don't. Just notice how your shoulders are feeling today. Let's do one more like that. And then as your arms come back by your sides, let all of that go and just start to penguin yourself side to side. So reaching right hand towards right ankle, left hand towards left ankle. If your mat's real sticky, you might have to pick your head up just a little bit. Good. And then just drop back. Draw your knees into your chest and circle your legs around one direction. Start to feel your low back on the floor. Good. And then switch and go the other way. Good. Go ahead and take your feet back to the mat. We're going to roll up into a bridge. See if you can keep your knees about hip distance apart, no wider, and bring your tailbone up off the floor, then your sacrum, your low back, and maybe all the way up to your mid back. And then exhale back down. Yeah, let's do that a few times. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Do 2 more at your own pace. Nice. And we'll stay with that motion a few more times. Take your arms up with your body. Maybe they reach just to the ceiling. Maybe they reach up overhead. Just notice. Big inhale, expanding up. Exhale, sinking down. Let's do 2 more. Go ahead and drop your hands back down. Draw your knees up towards your chest again. Give them a nice squeeze. And then keep your left knee. Take your right leg long on the mat if that's comfortable, or feel free to leave a little bend in that knee. Just give your left leg a squeeze. And then start to move that leg to the outside for a little external rotation. Yep. And all the way back to center. Take that knee like it's a big crayon and make some circles on the ceiling. Just imagine what that would be like. Noticing how the hip moves, how the leg moves in the hip socket, and then switch and go the other way. Yeah, and then draw both knees up to your chest again. Keeping the right knee this time, take your left leg long. And find a little external rotation here, the right hip. Notice if this side feels different than the other side. It might. Come on back to center. Leg's a big crayon now. We're going to make some circles on the ceiling with this leg. Everything else staying pretty stable, pretty still. And we'll switch and go the other way. Nice. Come on back to center. Take both legs up. Bring your elbows toward your knees. Remember, silly bug or dead bug from last week. Take your right elbow or your right hand, fingers, and your left toes and touch the floor. And come back up or move toward the floor. They don't have to make it all the way to the floor. We're just going to alternate arm and leg. Maybe adding breath this week. An inhale back and an exhale to squeeze. Nice. One more each side. Good. Adding an option now. You might take your right leg out long or your right arm out long, left leg out long, whichever side you're on. And switch to the other side. Take your time. Let your body be patient with your breath. Yeah, how about one more each side? Good. Bring your head up off the floor. Reach toward your ankles for a little Pilates now, a little double leg stretch. We're going to inhale back using those snow angel arms to squeeze the air out. Inhaling back and exhale around. Notice how this feels to your back. If it's uncomfortable, keep those legs up high. Let's do 2 more. And stop here. Go ahead and just relax down. Bring your feet down. Let your knees drop together. Check that position out. How does that feel? If it feels nice, go ahead and let your legs windshield wiper side to side. Otherwise, just adjust as needed. It might feel nice to look the opposite direction of your knees. Good. And then staying on our backs just a little bit longer. Let's come up, shins parallel to the floor, hands behind your head. We did this last week. Not a mistake. Take your left elbow to your left knee. Notice if that was difficult. Right elbow to right knee. Notice if you're crossing across your body. See if you can take same elbow to same side knee. It's because we're used to doing a crossbody. So we're challenging that movement pattern a little bit. Just do 2 more on each side. Keep your breath flowing. Lovely. Good. Draw your knees into your chest. One more time. Turn your head side to side. Let your neck go. And then either with head down or head up, let's take right leg to the sky. Left leg gets 2 little pulses toward the ground. Not on the ground. Just 2 little pulses somewhere toward the ground. You could have 2 little puffs of air. Different type of breath. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. If your head's up, go ahead and drop it back down. Draw your knees into your chest and make a few circles here. And switch direction. And then before you move, decide how you're going to get up. Are you going to turn on one side? Are you going to roll up and go? Nice. Come on over to sitting. We're just going to sit up really nice and tall, work the breath just a little bit. Let's have fingers spread wide, add a little bit of energy. Exhale, squeeze your elbows down if that feels okay. Otherwise, let them float up soft. Good. One more. Let's go ahead and leave the hands up. Take your right hand, float it down to the floor. Keep both sides of your body long as you reach up and over. Good. If that feels really nice, maybe take a diagonal out over that knee. And we'll come all the way back up. Bring your other hand up. We'll drop the left. Long side body. Big stretch over. Good. And if that feels nice, take that diagonal. We'll come all the way back up. Just take a twist to each side. See if you can leave your belly button forward and twist from there up. And we'll come back through center. Same thing to the other side. And come on back to center. Bring your hands together. It's a little challenge for you. Take your right hand and circle your left wrist. See if you can just let your left hand come along for the ride. And circle the other way. And switch. Let your left hand move your right hand. See if that's as easy, especially if you're right hand dominant. Will the right hand allow that? Yeah, me neither. Just gives us something to think about. Take it and circle the other way. Nice. And then take your hands out, turn them inside out. Take a big inhale. Arms can go up as far as feels good. Let your back round. Exhale down. One more up. Inhale up. Nice. And exhale down. Good. Go ahead and release your hands. Let's come to all fours. You can face whatever direction you like. So just whatever feels nice to you today. Press your hands down on the floor. Just feel the floor underneath your hands. Feel your mat underneath your knees and the tops of your feet. And then invisible cat. Nobody can see it. Just turn on the muscles that would take us there. And then how about an invisible cow? Let those cat muscles go. Turn on the cow muscles. Yeah, on your next exhale, start to flow between your cat and your cow in a way that feels nice to your body. Yeah, maybe exhaling to cat and inhaling to cow. And if you like, add a little organic movement, really starting to notice where your body's needing the stretches, where there are little kinks or tight places. Yeah, and then how about a little slinky dog? Let's walk hands over to the right. Have a look back. And same thing, other side. And come on back to center. Take your left hand up and float it through. We're threading the needle. Maybe you come down to your shoulder or the side of your head, or maybe not. Breathe here. And we'll inhale all the way back up and let that hand float down. Same thing, other side. Inhale. Go ahead and thread the needle through. Notice if this side is different. And we'll float that arm back up and bring it down to the mat. Take your right leg behind you and we'll just go ahead and let it float up. So hip height, that nice straight line. If it feels good to add your left hand, go ahead and do that. A lot of good core work right here. Breathe. How's your breath in this position? Take a big inhale. Draw your elbow towards your knee. Doesn't have to touch it. Inhale to reach. Let's do two more here. Nice. Good. Go ahead and float your hand back down to the floor. Let your knee bend. Just take some hip circles here. Hip mobility in a different position. And switch. Go the other way. And bring that leg down. Walk yourself to a child's pose or a puppy dog or something else that feels nourishing and relaxing. Let your head drop down. Breathe into your back. And find a way to release your wrists. That could be bringing your hands back by your sides. It could bring your hands overhead in prayer. Or just wiggle. Wiggle the wrists. And let's come back up to all fours. Take your left leg behind you. Yep, and float it up. Just hip height, toes pointing down. Add your opposite arm. They don't have to be high off the floor, right? And it's possible one side's a whole lot harder than the other. It's elbow to knee 3 times. Exhale in, inhale to expand. Exhale in, Inhale to expand. Exhale in. Inhale to expand. Take your hand back to the mat. Let your knee bend. Find yourself some hip circles on this side. Good. We'll switch, go the other way. And bring that knee down. Find yourself a child's pose or something like it, or some way to let your wrists relax. And then go ahead and slide forward. Bring yourself into Sphinx. And we're going to come up nice and tall with the upper body, focusing on our back body a little bit now. Press your feet into the floor. Take your lower abs, draw them a little bit in and a little bit up. You might notice a little sensation in your low back as we protect them by pulling our abs in. Lift your head forward, lift your heart forward, and take a couple breaths here. Good. Go ahead and gently drop yourself down to the mat. Bring your hands next to your chest. Baby cobras. Let's do 2, barely pushing with hands. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up. Nice. Exhaling down. This time without the hands, find your baby cobra. All back work, not too high. How's your breath here? Good. Go ahead and drop it down. Take your right arm out to the side, left arm out to the side. Same thing, baby cobra, but with arms reaching. It's not high. And drop back down. Take your arms to the front if that feels okay. And we'll take a baby cobra here. And I am just barely off the mat here. And then bring your hands underneath your forehead and rest. Let those back muscles go. Notice the difference between engaged muscles and resting muscles. And then let's reach arms out in front again. And a couple options here. You could lift your right arm and your left leg, working across the back, and then switch hands and legs. You could just keep that going at your own pace. Or if you like the Pilates version of that, you could lift arms and legs and just start to flutter kick. If you're doing that, there's a breath that goes with it. We'll inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more set. Inhale and exhale. Nice. Bring your forehead back to your hands. Release your back muscles. Good. And then with a neutral spine, make your way back to all fours. And maybe start a little cat-cow or some organic movement or anything that releases your back here. Good. And then let's take left foot forward. If you need to roll your mat and pad your right knee, you can do that. We're going to come up. Take your time. Set it up so that you have a 90-degree angle at the knee. And let's inhale both arms up and open to cactus. Good. Inhale up. Bring hands down in prayer in front. Good. We're going to take hands out. Whatever leg is in front, that arm's going to stay put. The other one's going to come up and just reach back. And then maybe reach to the ceiling. Lovely. Cartwheel yourself all the way back around. Bring your hand inside your foot, hand to the knee, and twist towards your knee. You could come to your back toes if you like. You could come up into a lunge if you prefer. You could reach that knee hand up to the ceiling, or you could leave it on your knee. And then bring that hand down. Let's gently walk back to half splits, only as far as feels good. Toes can be down or up. Good. Come on back to all fours. And we'll switch sides. So right leg forward, left leg down, 90-degree angle in the knee. And let's inhale up and open to cactus. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Take your arms out in front. Whatever leg is in front, that arm stays put. The other one reaches up and back. And then if you like to reach to the sky, yeah, with that front arm. Perfect. Cartwheel yourself around. Bring the hand inside your foot, and we'll take a twist on this side. So twist toward the bent knee. Could be up on back toes. Could be reaching. Yeah, and if you notice that you're reaching the other way, that's awesome. It's just a different twist, right? Go ahead and bring your hand down and sit back to half splits. Good. Let's bring hands back real slowly. Step back to all fours. Turn your toes under, and we'll move into our first down dog of the day. Let your legs walk a little bit. Maybe let your hips sway side to side. And then go ahead and walk your hands to your feet. Roll your body up. And circle your shoulders back. Good. Let's do a few half roll downs. You could face this way or you could face the window or whatever way you want. Bring your chin up and a little bit back. Yep. We're going to take our chins down to chest and just follow through with your vertebrae one at a time. You can support yourself on your legs. You can let your knees bend as much as you need, as much as feels good. And then roll yourself back up. Inhale up. Shoulders back. Good. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale, chin leads down. One vertebrae at a time, as far as feels good. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale yourself up. Shoulders back. Good. Last one. Inhale. Exhale over. Hang out here at the bottom. And then on your next inhale, bring yourself to half lift. And see if you can bring your back parallel to the floor. Legs can be bent. Lift your tailbone. Draw your shoulder blades back. And exhale down, let it go. Bring your hands forward to prayer. Bring yourself into chair. Yep, and that chair could be that daddy bear chair, that big tall one. It could be the middle chair. It could be that baby bear chair low. Notice what's calling to you today. Take a look down at your toes. Make sure that you can see them, meaning hips are going back more than toes are going forward. Yeah. Option to stay here. Option to bring the arms forward just for 2 breaths. Good. We'll sink it down and then splash up. Add a little back bend. Good. And let's bring hands back center. Just notice. We have some new people. So we got to do this, right? You can't, if this bothers your shoulders, do this one. But if your shoulders are feeling good today, take your right arm and circle forward. Do that 3 times. Stop at the top. Take your left arm, circle it back. Good. Stop at the top. Take your right arm forward. Take your left arm back. Take your right arm forward. Take your left arm back. Let's do one more like that. This is the best way to practice this. Right arm forward, left arm back. Option to do both at once. Yeah, and I find if I a little twist to that back arm, that certainly helps. And if you've gotten to where that seems pretty reasonably easy, then go the other way. We can always make it a little bit more of a puzzle, right? Shake it out. And it doesn't matter. We're just working on our shoulders. Let your shoulders move in all directions, whatever feels nice to you today. Good. And then let's inhale up. Yep. Take your left wrist with your right hand, a little lateral stretch here to the side. And we'll come back to center. Same thing, other side, nice and tall. Good. And come on back to center. Take your hands. If it feels good, lace your fingers. Otherwise, just put your hands on your hips. We're just going to do one more forward fold before we go to some warriors. So hinging from the hips, either with hands laced or just on the hips. Exhale over. And we'll inhale all the way back up. Good. And shake it out. Let's all face the lake. Sound good? Take your left foot back and find yourself just a nice, comfortable warrior. Warrior legs. Yeah. Turn your shoulders toward the lake. Reach your arms up if you like, or keep your hands in prayer. Warrior one. Good. Bring your hands heart center. Lace your fingers. Add a little back bend. Exalted warrior. Good. Open those arms to warrior two. Hang out here and just breathe. Look forward right over that front middle finger. Yeah, we're going to play with our focus just a little bit. Look over that front middle finger, drop your shoulders. Beautiful. Take your gaze to the back hand and back to the front hand. Good. Take your right hand to the sky. Bring your elbow to your knee. Take your left hand right across the horizon until it gets to the top, and then a little opening here. Nice. This hand up here, this left hand, take it to the floor behind you, and then it brings us into triangle. Beautiful. Keep your triangle legs, come all the way up, and just switch legs right here. Warrior on the other side. Yep, reach your arms. So we know this one. Arms to the sky. Warrior one. Bring your hands into prayer. On your next inhale, reach up and back. Exalted warrior. Good. And we'll open to warrior two. Drop your shoulder blades. Have a look right over that front middle finger. And then change your gaze to the back. Nice. Back to the front hand. Take that front hand to the sky. Bring that front elbow to your front knee. Right hand comes across the horizon. And we get that nice side opening. Yeah, and this right hand's going to drop to the floor, the back, and pull us up into triangle. Beautiful. Good. Keep your triangle legs. Pivot your body all the way up. And just turn your toes forward. Let's come on back down to the floor. And back down to our backs where we started. Constructive rest. Draw your knees into your chest. Maybe allow your body to rock a little side to side. And then keep your left knee. Take your right leg long, just like we did at the beginning. Move that left knee to the outside, little external rotation. Good. As it comes back, cross it over your right knee. Straighten that right leg up toward the sky. And if you want a little bit more sensation, lean your body off towards that straight leg. Just notice what that feels like on your opposite hip. Yep. And then we'll come on back to center. Bring your knees into your chest. Maybe find a few circles here. And then keep your right knee, take your left leg long. That right leg gets a little squeeze. And then a little external rotation. Nice. Cross your right leg over your left leg. Left leg can go straight if that feels good. And if you want a little more sensation, lean a little bit over to the right or to the left leg. Come on back to center. Draw your knees into your chest. And this is something I don't think we've done for a while. Let's come into a lying butterfly. Soles of the feet together. Just let your knees drop out to the side just for a couple breaths. And then bring those legs back up. Let's take one long stretch, fingertips to toes. If you're feeling like you need something upside down, a little bridge pose, little legs up the wall without a wall. Plow if that's in your practice. Shoulder stand, all good stuff. And just shake it out and find your way to final resting pose. That could be constructive rest. It could be shavasana. It could be legs up the wall or anything else that feels good to you. Once you get settled, just do a little scan again from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. Notice how everything landed today. Check in with your breath. Notice where you most easily feel your breath in your body. And see if you can keep your attention there. This nice, natural inhale and exhale. And I want to end today with a poem by John Rodell. And it used to be called How to Live with My Body, but now he calls it Anatomy of Peace. My brain and my heart divorced a decade ago over who was to blame about how big of a mess I've become. Eventually, they couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now, my head and heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week, and my heart gets me on the weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week. And their notes, they send to each other, always say the same thing. This is all your fault. On Sundays, my heart complains about how my head has let me down in the past. And on Wednesdays, my head lists all the times my heart has screwed things up for me in the future. They blame each other for the state of my life. There's been a lot of yelling and crying. So lately, I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist. Most nights, I sneak out the window of my rib cage and I slide down my spine and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair that's always open for me. And I just sit until the sun comes up. Last evening, My gut asked me if I was having a hard time being caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said I didn't know if I could live with either of them anymore. My heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday, while my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow, I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with my mistakes of the past or my anxiety about the future, I sighed. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. I was confused, and the look on my face gave it away. If you're exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There's no yesterday in your lungs. There's no tomorrow there either. There is only now. There is only inhale. There is only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And in that breath, you can rest while your heart and your head work out their relationship. This morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves, and while my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag and walked to the door of my lungs. Before I could even knock, she opened the door with a smile, and as a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?" And go ahead and start to bring a little gentle movement back to your body. Maybe let your fingers and toes move, or take another stretch or two. Take a couple deep breaths. And if you're flat on your back, it might feel really nice to let your knees bend and sway. And then when you're ready, go ahead and turn on one side. Feel free to stay there for a breath or two. And then gently make your way to sitting. Let's take one breath together. Just a nice inhale. Bring your hands heart center. With gratitude for our lungs. Thank you for practicing with me today. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thanks, Zoomies.